If
Yes.
someone is planning to start poultry farming in 2026, especially with the Kienyeji or the local chickens, what first 3 steps must they take before they even stock the first batch on their farms?
Okay, for the first thing that they have to know is that they have to be able to study the market. They should be able to know whereby they will sell the product. So they have to know which kind of breed of bird. That is the second part. If they have studied the market, then they will know which kind of breed of bird that they should be able to rear in their area. And third part is the capital that they will have, so as they can be able to stock the number of birds that they want to stock. So for the birds, as you know, the actual farmer I usually do the Kienyeji. Here in Kenya, we call them the improved Kienyeji breed of chicken. These ones are like an advanced an improvement that has been done on the local breed of the local chicken, the local Kienyeji, and it has whereby you find out that these birds they tend to grow faster, and also they tend to lay more eggs than the local Kienyeji breed of chicken. But the benefit of this improved Kienyeji breed of chicken is that they are able to have almost the same similar taste of meat as the Kienyeji. And for the terms of capital, when you want to be able to start, I've said we have the broilers, we have the layers, and we have the improved Kienyeji breed of chicken. So it depends. If you're living in an urban setup, maybe whereby you want to sell your birds and very faster, you end up finding out that for the broiler, because you have a wider market base, you'll end up finding out that it will be easy for you to be able to sell the meat for the broilers. And for the layers, it doesn't matter. It can be an urban setup or even a rural setup. It can be so easy for you to transport the eggs. It doesn't matter where you are. It can be so easy for you to transport the eggs to reach your market. And for the improved Kienyeji breed of chicken, you have to be able to understand the market so well and be able to do your mathematics right. Because for the improved Kienyeji breed of chicken, it depends. Are you rearing them for the purposes of meat, or you are rearing them for the purposes of eggs? Because there are a bird that are dual purpose, because they can either be used for eggs or they can either be used for meat. Meaning if you want to rear them for a period of like 3 months, then you can be able to sell them for meat. Then if you want to rear them up to like 5 months, then henceforth, then you can be able to rear them for the purposes of eggs, whereby they can be able to give you the fertilized eggs. For the improved Kienyeji breed of chicken, you're only rearing them for the purposes of eggs. Okay, so after you have studied the market, now you want to be able now to start your farm. The first thing, maybe you are green, you haven't done anything on that farm, or maybe you haven't started the farm yet. So what you have to do, the first thing you have to do, you have to make sure that you want to construct a poultry house. And for the construction of the poultry house, you have to make sure that you are following the standards of how a poultry house should be constructed. For most of our farmers who are living in the East African region, so we have to make sure that you are constructing our poultry house of around 8 feet high. That is from the floor up to the roof, whereby the roof starts. And there at the bottom, you have to make sure that you're constructing a small base of around 60 centimeters, which is around 60 centimeters, 61 centimeters, which is around 2 feet from the ground, so as it can prevent flooding. So those 2 feet, you usually construct them using blocks or the bricks, so as you can prevent flooding into the poultry house. And the poultry house should be constructed in an east to west direction, so as it can prevent the sun rays from getting into the poultry house, which may encourage cannibalism, and also which may cause high temperatures in the poultry house. So for these two sides, the longer ones, the length, you have the length and we have the width. So the width, the width is the one that has to face east and west. The width, east and west. Then this length is north and south. So these other sides is the north and south. And the width side is the side that have to be closed entirely. These both sides. If you're living in an area that you experience a lot of sunlight that can get into the poultry house, it has to be closed, these both ends. And this longer side, you are from the remaining around 6 feet, it has to be placed using a chicken wire. Then you use this chain link, so as we can be able to prevent predators from coming into the poultry house. And at the top of that poultry house, you have to make sure that you're using the chicken wire properly, so as you can prevent predators from getting into the poultry house. We don't want you, because there is this certain kind of predator that tends to get into the poultry house, and it only sucks blood from the chicken. It doesn't eat the meat. So when it sucks blood, there is a certain, it looks like a raccoon, like it looks like a wild cat. So it tends to get into poultry houses. Here in Kenya, it's so common. So you may end up finding out that it gets into the poultry house during the night. So it sucks blood from, and mostly it usually affects chicks, I mean. So it gets into the poultry house, then it sucks blood from most of the birds. So you may end up finding out that when you're waking up in the morning, you find out that a lot of your chicken have been mauled by that kind of wild animal. So you have to make sure that when you're constructing your poultry house at this top end, because there's usually a space up there, you have to make sure that you are covering it up fully. So, and also on the floor of the poultry house, you have to make sure that you are, when you're starting, some people you have a smaller budget, but you have just to make sure that you are completing your floor, so as we can prevent the burrowing of other rodents that can come into the poultry house and can tend to bring diseases into the poultry house. So that's how you should be able to construct your poultry house.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the business side of poultry farming. Most people, it's one thing to start a poultry farm, raise the birds, but now the point comes in when someone is not actually able even to scale up. Someone is just stuck. And before you know it, someone has quit poultry farming and they are cursing the whole venture. So how does someone enter into poultry farming and they are able to do it as entrepreneurs, just like in other fields?
Yeah, so like for me, what I do, I usually do the hatching business. And my dynamic is way different, and it is easily scalable. And how was I able to scale the business from 50 chicks? Because I started with 50 chicks, and now I can be able to hatch 3,000 chicks per week. How was I able to scale? So I started my business with only 50 chicks, but I realized that was an easy dynamic, because what I did, I bought day-old chicks, then I brooded them for a period of 1 month, then I sold them off.
Okay.
Yes. Then
why did you sell them off?
Because I never had enough money to raise them up to the point of lay, or even up to whereby they can be sold for meat. So I only had money that can be able to raise them up to that 1 month. Then I sold them at a profit. Then I bought 100. Then I repeated the same technique. I brooded them for 1 month, because cash flow is king in any kind of business. Cash flow. So you have to make sure that you are getting money over and over. Because, for example, if you want to raise birds, like for example for the layers up to point of lay, you have to make sure that you have some other source of income that can enable these birds to be raised up to the point of lay. So even if you have raised, for example, like 300 or 500 layers, you have to have another source of income. You can decide to raise the local birds or the improved Kienyeji birds, or even the layers. There are some farmers usually want layers at 1 month of age. You can brood for them, then you can sell them off at a profit. So the profit will help you to continue buying feed or buying the ingredients, so as you can be able to formulate feeds for these birds, so as they can continue growing up to the point whereby they can be able to give you the eggs. So as you continue like this, you won't be able to stop. Even after these other birds have started to lay, you'll still have some continuous cash flow, then meaning that you'll be able to get money from the brooded chicks, and also you'll be able to get money from the eggs, meaning you'll be getting more money out of the business. So you'll be continuing to expand. Since I started the business when I was so young, so I used the principle of 70-30, whereby I was reinvesting 70% of the profits into the business, and I was eating 30% of the profits on. So that's also helped me to make the business grow. So that is the only advice I can give to farmers, is that make sure that you are reinvesting more of the money into the business. But most farmers, other farmers are of different, they come from different areas, and maybe they have started the business so as it can be able to help them fully. And maybe that is whereby maybe the challenge can come. Maybe you end up finding out that you are eating into the business, but you have just to make sure that you are a bit disciplined, only eat the profits and don't eat too much of the profits. Make sure that you are investing more into the business so as also the business can be able to grow.